Okay, we're going. Okay. Yeah, I think we're live already.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, guys. So, happy Easter, by the way, everyone who celebrates today. This is more of a holiday edition in a way, right? With like
Yeah.
together today, yeah. Thank you everyone who are joining and yeah, who will, for example, watch it in the recording. Let's start. Let's start. I'm Maria Glazunova from Ukraine, and I'm a tech English communication coach. I specialized in empowering tech professionals and especially women to skyrocket their careers, feel confident, and yeah, enjoy like work life in general, I would say. And I do that with the help of my 10-week communication program. Today, I have a very special guest. I'm really excited about it. It's Hamilton Pinheiro from Brazil, and he will talk about very interesting topic: how to nurture and how to create a nurturing environment for tech teams where they feel really good and they grow, and also how to I would say like nurture the relationships with everybody and master the nuances of communication, of course. And recently I had actually a conversation with one of my clients, and he told me, Mary, why I actually became a programmer. I love coding, yes, sure. And I thought it would be just me and my computer and nobody else. you know
Yeah, that's
but
true.
but it turned out that right now I'm a tech lead, and of course he's planning, of course, to grow in his profession and all. And it's completely vice versa. Right now my job is all about communication, and interacting with other people, and it's going to be more and more. So we cannot really hide or escape for this component, right? And especially the higher we get into in our professions, right? So we really really need that, and it's really important. So that's why we decided that this topic can be relevant. And yeah, I hope you will enjoy that. So Hamilton, thank you so much for accepting my invitation. I'm really excited and I'm really grateful that you're here. And please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh yeah, for sure. So hey there, Maria. Thank you for having me here. It was a wonderful opportunity to change or exchange some point of view about the building teams and communication.
Mhm.
So currently, I am a CEO at Codengage. Codengage is a outsourced software company with global clients, right, and team around the world. So communication for us, it's huge important. And in the last
Mhm.
10 years, I am still um, manager. I still manager, and of course, conducts a team across the challenges, to build the solutions and build the software. And that's true, as you said. Normally, the software engineers, has the not a difficult, but more like challenging to communication effectively.
Yeah.
This kind of guys prefer is still with the computer, only computer. But in fact, in our current world, we need to improve our communication and relationship, because since the
Mm,
pandemic, it's more important skills, and all companies all think about, okay, do you have a hard skill? You are a good engineer, but how do you handle with the challenge and culture difference? That's the keys to build a
yeah,
team. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And it just builds on that, right? More and more. And yeah, and you mentioned also very interesting moment that on your team right now, currently you have like 41 person, right? So like
Yeah.
41. Oh my God,
Yeah.
professionals, ambitious and excellent professionals. So I was like, whoa. And how do you navigate, especially when some conflicts or disagreements arise? Because I mean, we are humans, right? There might be some misunderstandings, especially, the bigger the team is, of course. So how do you manage that? So what are your strategies? What's your secret?
That's a great start, because three or four keys or takeaways, to keep on track. Active listening,
Uh-huh.
the first one, and identify root cases. I mean, take the different points of view, put in the same table, right,
Uh-huh.
and try understand without emotions, because you
Mm.
need to still on the top the mountain, to see the valley, so something like that. And
Picture, right? Kind of bigger picture.
yeah, yeah. You need
Okay.
to put the same table, all the point of views, and resume, review, and talk with the individuals, guys, and try to understand the moment. The moment, the professional, like the individual moment, and the moment about the team. If the team have pressure or need to achieve some milestone, so as a manager, that's the main point. Of course, conflict can be arise in different moments of the project or the milestone, but the most important thing is create a safe environment
Mm,
to fix this conflict. All the
mm,
time we have the different emotions,
mhm.
but sometimes we need to take a rest, or recommend, take a day off and breathe deeply, because when
Yeah.
you feel more calm, you
Mm.
can do a better decision. Yeah.
That's interesting. And can you tell me a little bit more? How do you create this safe environment? So, what are your strategies there? Because I think this is one of the keys, when you nurture relationships, so people really can, breathe in the environment, right? And really, yeah, showcase their potential and everything.
Yeah. uh, Seems like, on the, how can I say that, it's like it's not a stony rules, I
Yeah,
mean, you
yeah,
need to keep the doors open for the
uh-huh.
team, right? And motivate the confidence.
Hmm.
So if the individual guys has the confidence to make a decision, and of course do something wrong, but without the pains. It's not like without pain, but it's more like the, oh man, you make some mistakes with
Yeah,
this and that, but we can fix it and learn through this way. So
right.
I guess that's the important point. Yeah.
Right. So you mean that creating more of the non-judgmental environment where it's kind of safe to make mistakes and of course learn from them, but it's okay, right? That you can kind of a little bit, put off some pressure, of perfectionism that we usually, we are pretty hard on ourselves, right? In a lot of cases. Okay, okay, that's nice. That's nice. I When you were saying also about disagreement, right now I'm taking part in Irina Stanescu's course. In her live sessions because before I couldn't. And she mentioned an interesting moment about disagreement, how she loves approaching them, that how it usually happens, right? This is like my point of view, and here's another person with like, I don't know, his or her point of view, right? So we usually kind of fight with our point of view, like against each other. I mean, it kind of automatically happens, right? And she mentioned that it's better that you kind of unite with the person. Okay, we are together with you. Okay, against the issue, the problem. So let's brainstorm the solutions, right? And kind of take that. like bigger view, as you said, right? And just like,
Hmm.
okay, just brainstorm and just see how we can kind of tackle this, but not fighting against each other, right? But kind of uniting, connecting with each other. Yes, and yeah, and she said that it was pretty, I would say, effective for her and her team. Kind of in this way.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I totally agree with you because we don't really need to agree with all things, right, in the
Sure.
team. But the important thing about the team is the goal, right? It's
Okay.
win the season or something like that. So
Yeah.
when the conflict rises and the individual guys need or could be in different ways, right?
Yeah.
We put all guys in the war room and remember what is our goal. We need to achieve this point, um, independent of the individual perspective. The team
Mm-hmm.
is strong together, not with own peers, of course. And
Mm-hmm.
each part of the team, it's very important. So sometimes, since human behavior, we feel, I don't know, dismotivated or something like that. So we need to, hey man, you are so important than the most important guy here. So that's the point.
Yeah, yeah. So everybody feel kind of heard and valued and seen, that yeah, we take like we listen, right? It's not like we agree with everybody, but let's let's listen to each other and find some common ground, some common solution to something. Yeah, ask questions, I guess. Like, I think questions can help, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
we moving toward the goal, some kind of open-ended question, yeah, where we
Hmm. Absolutely. Yeah.
brainstorm some, yeah, some solutions. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, absolutely. That's what I also helps me with my clients when I try to understand them better, or we might have some, I don't know, misunderstanding or something. I always, ask some questions, and I just feel how this kind of tension, sometimes it happens, like, just disappears. Okay, that's why you did this and that, that's why you want that and that. Oh, okay, now I get it. So that's kind of, yeah.
Also, also the question help us to understand the expectation and keeping the same pace. Yeah.
Yeah, expectations. Oh, absolutely. Okay. All right. And actually, we are kind of moving toward like in the same area, like really important topic about the feedback, right?
Yeah.
Because like in all this conflict, not conflict, but actually growing, feedback is really important part, yeah, of this process.
Hmm.
And I assume, I don't know, I assume that the higher we get in our position, the harder it might be kind of to give people feedback and to receive feedback that is, like really honest, because, we also have this, how to say, the change, in ranks and everything. So, yeah. So can you please tell me a little bit about that? So how do you give feedback? How you receive feedback? Feedback, because it's an art. I feel. Oh my God, it's an art.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because sometimes we need to make sure about the reason behind the feedback. It's not a personal, so it's about the professional. So I like to think about our feedback or my personal kind of feedback. It's more like a culture, feedback.
Uh-huh.
So the feedback can come from the coffee table or the meeting room, right? Of course, we need to define the cycle of the feedback, like one-on-one feedback. So it's more, it's better after month by month or week by week. It depends the size of team.
Mm-hmm.
But the culture, it's more important thing about feedback, because when we building and make culture strong, the minds can be changed to receive and give feedback. You know,
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Tell me more. Tell me more. Little. Uh-huh.
I have a list to share feedback. and
Uh-huh.
I take some notes, and the review, of course. Basically, we need to keep on track because
When do you take notes? You mean that you observe some, I don't know, behaviors and you just take notes, right?
yeah,
To
yeah,
okay, yeah, so you don't forget, right? Okay. Mm-hmm.
because when I mean month by month, it's a huge time to share some thinking, good or bad thinking, which happen in the first day of the month. So we need to take
Yeah.
some notes, of course, and yeah, be specific and objective. The main point. Hey man, I would like to talk with you about this point in this thing. This
Mm-hmm.
is a great. You need to keep it, or you need to left this behind and move forward because no matter, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Especially when we, as the first stop, need to make the safe place to make mistakes. So
right.
feedback, it's important when some professional or the team, even the team, make a mistake.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the collective feedback or one-on-one feedback, we need to share our point of view and the company point of view. So all
Ah,
right, that's matter, but that doesn't matter. We need to keep on
yeah.
on competition or like that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And you also mentioned that it's really important also to nurture the relationships, because then, like, well, like in my experience, yeah, I love feedback. I just adore. I always like seek feedback. I just like, I'm just running after feedback. Let's put it that way, because I just see how it helps me grow, and especially when it's like radically honest. And
Mm-hmm.
especially I value when I have some connection with the person, we establish some connection, some trust.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I'm like, I try to be as open as possible and just, perceive this feedback. And I love when it's really specific, not like beating around the bush, because then it's
Mhm.
confusing for me. Like, ah, I don't know. Do you also use some frameworks, like some specific frameworks, or not really? You just basically just share the observations and the goals, and yeah, and like that, right? So no sandwiches or something like
No,
that.
I know some frameworks, but I guess it's closed, ways to give the feedback. It's more like a robot. This
Mm,
one and this one and this one, this one. So I prefer know more the people. Like,
okay.
okay, Maria receive more in this way, because it's more comfortable to her, and Alan receiving better in this way because it's more, because with a framework, of course, it's a good tool, but I prefer different way with different people because we are different, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Oh, that's very interesting. And how, like, maybe what are the most common ways how you give feedback? So you have these different people, right? And how do
Mhm.
you approach, just like different approaches? Could you please like
Mhm.
describe them a little bit? Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So when I hire someone,
Mm-hmm.
I ask some question about the career goals, So what do you think about this point or this point, or how do you receive some words or feedback? And after that, when we make the first one-on-one, I
Uh-huh.
confirm the first goals, right? So
Uh-huh.
this one it's true, or how this one's going, or this point happens, right? So
Uh-huh.
it's a merge between personal things and professional things, you know. And of course, as I know some different areas, sometimes I share my point of view personally for this guy. So some people ask me, I would like to change my tech stack or my career for this role. What do you feel or what do you think? Do you, do you think I am able to do that in how many months, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I take some notes and keep on these key points in the way. And
Mm-hmm.
when this person ask about the different thing in that one note, I ask again, hey, what changed since that? Do you
Uh-huh.
need some time to talk about, or do you need some numbers to make more
Mm-hmm.
decisions or better decisions? So that's the key points. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So anyway, like you act according to the situation, right? And according
Yeah.
to the personality and how they perceive, right? So you are also reading people and perceiving, right, how they are
Hmm.
responding, yeah, to this feedback.
Yeah, we need to navigate through behavior because some if I do the 101, right?
Right.
Eat the same day, each month, but after 3 months, you seems different, this day.
Uh-huh.
Okay, perhaps I need to act in different way because today it's not the best day for her or for him. Yeah.
Ah, okay, okay. So you also kind of take into account, some,
Mhm.
yeah, good or bad days. Yeah, just today I read on LinkedIn, I believe, some post when also manager noticed that something was wrong with the colleague, no, with the
Mhm.
like with one person on the team. He was like completely not focused, not disciplined, made mistakes and so on. And then he just approached him, with kindness and understanding. Okay, first I will just, ask, what, how is he? Maybe something happened, and it turned
Mhm.
out that he actually got some terminal disease, that day. I mean, some news about terminal disease. And wow, of course, it was like completely understandable because we face, these unseen battles that
Mhm.
may result, in some weird behavior, but on the surface, right? But like inside, it's actually because of that. And when you really hear the person, when you really approach the person with, this, okay, let's talk, what's happening, right? Just like a human to human, right? I think
Mhm.
it's, yeah, it's really helpful. It's really helpful.
Oh yeah, we need to don't make assumptions, right? All the
Mm.
time we need to ask the question, and of course open your mind to receive the answer, of course. But yeah, and we need to be specific with our expectation in the one-on-one feedbacks or about the team challenges, because
Mm.
since we have the specific objective, of course, and expectation, we navigate through the honest feedback, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a, yeah, I completely understand. This was my next question, right? About one-on-one,
Okay.
right? You got already already in that area. So as I understood, you mentioned already that you're doing it like once a month. Yeah, you have like
Mhm.
this 41 people. Anyway, it's a
Yeah.
lot. But yeah, okay. So once a month. And how do you ensure that they are effective? And you mentioned also that they kind of, and they, on one hand, they meet expectations of the company, right? And on the
Mhm.
other hand, it means some personal expectations and, like the growth of the individual. It's also like an art. I don't know, as for me. So how do you also, yeah, how do you ensure that?
That's a good question, because I try and I do my best to keep as transparent as I can.
Mm-hmm.
So the risk of the project, the risk of the market, the risk of the everything, the risk of the change in the career, the stacks. So all those one-on-ones, we talk more about that, like a friend, because hey man, we work together since months or years, and I guess if you move through this way, the thing you can learn it's about that, but we can't have the 100% this, the certitude, right? So but the one-on-one, like the name say, it's the more like give and take feedback.
Mm.
Because when we talk about the growth career or about the expectation about the growth inside the company or the
Mm-hmm.
project, of
Mm-hmm.
course we need to share the some company vision
Yeah,
for
sure.
sometimes for years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you need to share the vision about the company, the team, and about the guy, right?
Yeah.
So in the next few months or few years, I would like to see you in this point of the company, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to know if you see yourself in this point and
Right.
navigate through this way. Yeah.
So you align, yeah, you kind of make
Yeah.
sure that you all on the same page, right? You
Yeah.
mentioned one thing that during one-on-one, it's also like a give and take feedback, right? And you also even before, right, said about like not only giving but you also receiving feedback, right? So how do you make sure that you receive, kind of deeper and more honest feedback, that people really, say, what they think, because this is, I think, really, really important for, good growth.
Yeah. It's not a right way, there are different ways to make sure about that. But what I believe is the
Mhm.
consistency,
Okay.
because we talk different times in the year, different times of the seasons and something like that. And what you say in the last years, you
Hmm.
know, it's
Hmm.
the same in these years about me or I change it. Because when you say it, or it's you do that's right and great, but I would like to see the improvement in this area.
Hmm.
When we talk about one-on-one, we can ask about, hey, about this point, what do you what is your perception right now? Because in the few months you say about this thing, and I all the time do my best to improve desires, but I'm not sure. What's your opinion about that?
Hmm.
So
Hmm. Hmm. So basically, you just, yeah, you ask questions, and before you created once again the safe environment, right? You
yeah.
build trust and kind of friendly atmosphere, so it's
Mm.
yeah, right, and in this way, right? Okay, that's very
Without
interesting. Mm.
without the safe environment, this thing can't work, because if
Yeah.
the people can't share your afraid, and expectation, because we are human and has different of moments of our life. So some guys here is still on the university yet, and of course some guys get windings in the few months. So
Yeah, sure, sure. And I also liked how you mentioned before in our conversation that you view the company as sports team rather than
yeah.
family. Can you a little bit elaborate on that? So what do you mean by that?
Oh yeah, sure. Some guys I met in the past and until now, of course, say about companies, other companies like the family, but
Yeah.
I disagree with that, because not because family approach is wrong or bad, but
Huh?
as a company we need to achieve some specific goals in quarters or years,
Mm-hmm.
and we have more different kinds of people in
Mm-hmm.
the teams from different cultures and religions, different genders. And as a team, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
each part of the team, it's important than as the most important part of the team, you know. So like
Yeah,
a soccer team, we have the different guys with different bodies and ages, you know, but
sure.
play together to
Uh-huh.
achieve some goals. I like to think in this way, and all guys here like this approach too, because all right, I can uh, play with this kind of team, you know, because no matter my size, my body, my gender, my age, I will do my best to through this team. That's
Mhm.
the
Yeah, and it also creates, this drive, motivation, and it's also not so personal because it's a game, right? It's a sport
yeah,
game, right? There is a goal and everything, but I think if it's a family, there can be kind of washed boundaries. I don't know, there might be some other things that kind of can get in the way how you
yeah,
operate, and how you
mm,
build relationships and stuff. Yeah, that's
yeah.
very interesting. Um, you mentioned also that about the gender, for example. So I also had another question for you. How many ladies do you have like within your team at the moment? So you have like 41 professionals, but how many women?
Currently, I have four
Mm-hmm.
women. I would
Mm-hmm.
like to have more, and we are open to hire more. Of course, the our team, it's normally engineers, software. It's more about the male guys, but
Mm-hmm.
we in the past has about the 10 women, but
Mm-hmm.
now currently 4 women. Yeah.
And how do you also like approach, I would say, like, or empower or support them, I would say, within your team?
That's a huge challenge, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's more the the main challenge comes from the mindset, you know,
Yeah.
because that's I think to change in the first day of the team, like a kickoff, right? Because the only difference here, and I make sure all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the only difference should be experience and seniority,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
only that. Because as a software engineers, we don't need the strong body or something like that. We need to just our brain and hands, right? So that's the only difference here.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. And I remember you mentioned that you also help them, like, to move through the career, right? And just like discuss, like, on one-on-ones, yes, like discuss their
Mhm.
next steps. Yeah, because I think it's really helpful and really empowering when you kind of understand, how to move forward, right?
Yeah, sure. I
Mhm.
try to guide uh, through the opportunity
Uh-huh.
when I share my vision, you know. So when we talk about the team, I can share the number. I mean, 10 guys in the project, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I need to have about the 4 or 5 software engineer as a developers, you know. I need
Mm-hmm.
to have the one UXY designers,
Mm-hmm.
and I need to have one QA and some positions. What
Mm-hmm.
I share with the it's like an advice, right?
Uh-huh.
The woman could be the all these roles, but it's easy in my point of view.
Mm-hmm.
The rules have more concurrence, you know, because I can have 4 or 5 developers and men, of course, and one woman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's a huge challenge, you know. It's a five against one or something like that. But when the this woman move through the areas with the some opportunities, right? So QA, UX/UI, and of course even PO. Some,
Mhm.
of course, all this it's equal opportunity, but I try to share this view. Of course, the choice all the time it's from come from her.
So not like making even some distinctions or something.
Yeah.
When I was thinking about this question, and when you also mentioned like the sports team, I remembered um, like an example from my life. I was passionate about street basketball. Yes, at some point in high school. And I remember that I came and I wanted to join the team, just like on the street, and they were only boys. I was the only one, the only girl. But I don't know, I was like, I really loved that, that game. And I was like so determined. And, that I actually, yeah, I just basically joined. And you know what? I kind of experienced that after some time when I was able to kind of to showcase my um, how to say like skills, of course, some strengths and some weaknesses, of course, and I don't know, personality and everything. They actually accepted me, like as a valid member of the team without, like gender difference or something like that. And without like even saying that, oh, you belong or something, that we value or respect you or something like that. They just like made me feel that way. They just like had that, I don't know, intention. And of course I was like in the same way, really respectful to them and everything. And yeah, and just like being a team, like really playing and forgetting about all this genders or whatever. And it was actually a great experience. And yeah, so that's how I feel also what happens, I would say, in your team. It's not like based on some, I don't know, gender or whatever, but you just, I would say, like have the same, I don't know, attitude and approach to everybody without any differences
Yeah.
or something, right? Like an intention, just like the atmosphere, right? Because those guys, yeah, they didn't say anything. I mean, we just kind of, yeah, created some relationships. I mean, we became friends and all. Yes, we created that, I would say, safe environment, and it was really fun, I would say.
Yeah,
you
for
know
sure.
yeah. But it was kind of very bright experience that I just like remembered when you mentioned the sports team. And so like, okay, this is like an analogy,
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And also we need to take care about some main behavior, in the same rooms, right? But it's think about the professional guys inside the rooms and take care with some words, and some thinking in the room. But that's the only point. We even we of course we say about that in the onboard process, right? But we don't really keep an eye because we trust in all guys here, so about the right behavior, with
Mm,
the co-workers, no matter if it is she or her, or not she, he or her, so
yeah, her, absolutely, yes. And sometimes also notice that sometimes we might not even like realize when by saying something we actually make people feel in some way, we, yeah, we just might not. And there is a book, Nonviolent Communication, and there are such principles that, like all this, like the core of this nonviolent kind of communication pattern, that you can actually let another person know. So you, for example, you share first the observation. Okay, I observed such and such, without accusing or anything like that, just an observation. Then share like, okay, that's made me feel like this, so some kind of emotion I felt, not like you made me feel. But I just felt this because I have this need, I don't know, I have this need for clarity, I don't know, for example. Yes. And then the fourth one, kind of some requests. So would yes, like, would you be able to, I don't know, give me some information about this, no, for example. Yeah. So making more of the I statements, and also sometimes even sharing. the feelings or sharing the, yeah, like, yeah, how it made us feel, because we don't always, realize. We assume a lot. I'm guilty of that, sometimes of assuming stuff, and then like, oh, oops. you know
Yeah, of course, we make some mistakes. Not some mistake. Some days, a lot of mistakes. But what we try to do all the time is fix as soon as possible. So
Mm.
the next day we make some like the 101, extra 101 or feedback cycle without the dates because
Mhm.
it's not we can't it's slipping my mind, but we can't allow the bad thoughts,
Yeah, like,
make stronger or something like that. It's like the oh, this one said bad words about me, and I all the time when while I fix the miscommunication, when
uh-huh.
I see this person, I put more woods in the fire, and
Yeah,
I need to fix that as soon as possible. So that's the main point about the
I
mistakes.
understand. So we kind of don't, get into the loop, like
Yeah,
loop of thinking and thinking, and then, there is, usually some kind of explosion, right? After like,
yeah.
yeah,
We
like
need
both.
to live the moment and not in the past, even
Mm,
the great times, especially if the bad times. We need to move
sure.
forward with the.
Sure. And
This,
address like right in the beginning, right? While
yeah,
it's, just like a little bit and you kind of clarify, okay, and just move on, right? Rather than just accumulate all of that stuff. Yeah, this is such a great point. Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. I think we discussed everything we wanted, right? I'm
great.
really happy about that. Yeah. So thank you so, so much for all your, I would say, experience and wisdom and sharing everything, with us so generously. And I appreciate your time. I know that it's really early in Brazil. It's actually, we
Oh
started
yeah,
at 7 a.m. Oh my God. It just, yeah, like for you. So yeah, thank you. I really appreciate your time and everything. Yeah.
was a pleasure to discuss this points of view. Of course, it's not the I guess some people move in different ways to do the same thing. That's the great
Sure.
point, of course. And we all the time improve our own behavior and approach, because we learn and read and something. So perhaps in the next talk with you, some adjustment in the same points, of course, could be great to share. To, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be fantastic. And yeah, and it's interesting how when we, for example, have some new member in the team or something, yeah, or maybe with the same team members, we, all the time, as you say, we learn, we change, we tweak, we twist, yes, and yeah, we keep in mind the goal, right, and we kind of move towards that. So I absolutely agree that, this flexibility, this our learning abilities, it's quite, I don't know, phenomenal as for me.
Yeah.
So
Because
that's fantastic.
each member brings the their own experience, so
Yeah, and
improve
dynamic.
the team and improve the company. Yeah,
Hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Awesome. So I'm really, yeah, I'm really glad that we did it. Thank you so much again. And I would like to say hi to your team. Yeah, you were saying that yeah, they would be like, some of them would be watching. So yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I would say admire them already, even without knowing them, like in person. But it's very interesting what you're doing.
glad
Um,
to hear. Yeah,
okay, thank you so much. Thank you guys who watched or who will watch actually in the recording. And yeah, see you again soon at some point.
yeah, for sure. Thank you. Bye
Yeah,
bye.
take care.
Take care too.
Mm.